Welcome to another round of Spudventures. This week we are back for session 20-7 of our D&D campaign, The Forgotten Ones. So take it away, GreatDinn.
Hey, hi, hello, everybody. As Spud said, this is session 27 of The Forgotten Ones. A D&D 5e campaign using the Dungeon of the Mad Mage module with a bit of a twist. Joining us as always, we have Newbiespud playing Usk of House Castellanter.
Howdy.
We have Space Jawa playing Jhank.
Hello.
We have AvisEcho playing Yuliy.
We can rent a carriage at our age.
We have Azure Mountain playing Lander Brightwood.
Yep. Hi.
And we have DigoDragon playing Victor.
Silly court can't handle my book.
Yeah.
It cannot. It's
And I
very...
wonder why.
Don't make enemies of my dad, please.
Please don't. Please don't make my dad mad.
Please.
Oh boy.
When we last left our adventurers, they had come back up to Waterdeep to deal with the case of the missing apprentice. It went okay, I guess. That was 2 sessions ago at this point. Following that, they successfully tracked down 2 of their 5-way split of the Lord Daggalt Neverember's dragon horde. And they know roughly where the third of the 5 are.
Mm-hmm.
In doing so, they entered the Castellanter mausoleum and heard chains rattling in a crypt, along with the fully seeing the temple to Asmodeus that the Castellanters have built. And all 5 decided to go for a very, very brief trip into the Feywilds, where Oberon the Fairy King gave them the 100,000 that had been kept in his realm.
Yep.
Or rather, gave them access to it. He didn't just drop all the gold on them right then and there, but
yeah,
close enough. And when they returned, they found Hollyhock attempting very poorly to be nonchalant, and Crunchbite chewing on a guard's armor.
Oh,
yep.
Right.
Oh, so clarification. Which of the 2 was it that we got? Was it Lander's access or mine?
Yes, it was. It was yours.
Wait,
Yours.
is it?
Because he was not my patron during the heist.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I think.
Yeah.
So, Hollyhock.
Oh, sorry, was that in character?
Yes.
Sorry, for whatever reason, my brain didn't process it. It was just like, it sounded like the beginning of a sentence.
That's the beginning of a question.
It is. Hollyhock looks at you, Usk, and goes, yeah?
Why is there discarded guard armor in my home?
Obviously, because she got in a fight.
Well, yes, I'd like the story, please.
Without us. She had to fight without... She had the fun on her own.
Well, you see, while all of you were gone, there was a knock at the door, and I answered the door, and there were some guards. And they said they were here for you, and they wanted me to step aside, and I said, he's not here right now, come back later. And they didn't accept that, so I made my point more forcefully.
Cool.
Did you say no, he's not here with your crossbow? Did I miss you using your crossbow?
No, I haven't used the crossbow yet.
But they did. They were the aggressors here.
Yes.
Okay.
I didn't kill anyone either. I just roughed them up a bit.
And stole their armor. Good job.
No, Crunchbite stole the armor.
Oh, she had a helmet.
Well, Crunchbite isn't going to know any better as far as stealing things.
Crunchbite, you're gonna totally ruin your dinner if you keep chewing on that.
Us kind of puts a hand to his temple and rubs and closes his eyes, furrows his brow, and says, "The guards are looking for me with force? Me specifically, Usk of House Castellanter?"
Yes. It didn't seem like the ones that we ran into earlier, she says, pointing at Yuliy and Victor. It seemed like the ones from the castle.
Oh, so it's not my fault. Okay, what'd you do, Usk?
What did I do?
An excellent question.
It's entirely possible that it has something to do with the secret passage.
If it was the ones from the castle, which...
Yeah.
The castle or the Castellanter's castle?
The castle Waterdeep.
Yeah.
Okay,
Castellanter's castle is more of a manor, I think.
Yeah, that's a manor.
listen. Some people can call whatever they want to be their own castle. You could call
It's
your house
more
a
of an
castle.
estate.
In a manner of speaking.
More of a
Manners,
manse.
please.
Yeah. Nice.
I'm not going to judge what people refer to their homes as.
I will.
All right. Reasonable thing to do in this situation. Travel to House Castellanter. Because if anyone's going to know what the situation is, it's going to be them.
Okay.
Aren't you just there, man?
I mean,
Yes, but now the situation has changed.
Well, we can't. Half of us can't go with you, man. So we're just gonna sit here, aren't we?
Okay, but what
Yeah.
if we have
probably.
if we have a situation where they are connected to it in some way?
Then I'm in much more serious trouble than I thought, considering my pleasant interactions just mere days ago. And I might as well find out.
Could also be you weren't in trouble, they just needed your help with something urgently. But maybe less likely?
Holly, did it seem like he was in trouble or that they needed him?
It didn't seem like they were going to arrest you, if that helps. But I have no idea what they were going for. They were just very insistent.
Yeah, and with weapons, so either it's...
Did they have weapons or did they just try to force their way through without weapons?
They were guards, they
didn't
had
draw their
weapons. Oh,
They
But they
didn't
didn't draw their weapons.
They didn't draw the weapons until after I knocked out the captain.
Ah.
Oh.
Well, then
Nice.
maybe the actual fastest solution is just to go to Castle Waterdeep, even though that's gonna be putting us straight into the boiling pot.
Yeah.
Should we all go?
Well, yes, I'm gonna want backup in case I end up getting
Yeah.
captured again.
I'm confident at least one of us will survive.
I'm confident you'll all survive. Either, naturally or by this curse, but...
I mean, hey,
Putting
6
our
out of 6 is at least 1.
Putting our mortality aside for a second, I'd prefer we all together, so I'm assuming... This is actually an unanswered question for me. I don't know if the Castellanters will actually recognize you on sight.
I don't think so, but, I guess better safe than sorry.
Probably.
Hey, can I?
What?
Please tell me that there are more than one helmet, and not just the one that Crunchbite is chewing on. Please.
I thought
Otherwise-
Crunchbite was like chewing on a shin guard.
Yeah, Crunchbite's chewing on like a leather shin guard.
Okay,
Yeah, and
but
I'm
there
pretty
is a
sure
third
Hollyhock was hiding a helmet behind her back.
Yeah, it's the helmet of the captain that she knocked out.
Right. Well, I can solve this on my end. Swipes the helmet, puts it on my head. There.
Do you not already have a helmet?
No.
Okay.
They kind of
Okay.
hurt
Pause.
the horns a little bit. They kind of really hurt and don't usually fit.
Yeah. That's
So
I'll
fair.
probably look cooler without it.
So how does this help?
Well, they can't really see that it's me entirely. They'd have to actually get up in my face. I don't know. I'm trying.
If we
here.
were trying to
She's
get you
pretty
to
much-
the Castellanter estate, yeah.
She's, just making herself uncomfortable for a disguise.
Oh,
So-
okay.
The thing
And-
is, I do do for you?
And
Probably unnecessary.
I
Probably.
think something to clarify real fast, because so remember what you got from Pocket Usk is that there was a drow, a tiefling, a half elf, and a I think it was a dwarf, if I remember correctly, that seemed to be working for the Xanathar Guild, but like they didn't have like in-depth descriptions.
Right, yeah.
So,
Yeah, that was my general feeling, was that they had very general descriptions and a affiliated target, but
mhm.
no like
Yeah. But it's harder to disguise a tiefling than it is to disguise a half elf. No offense, but you kind of do look more human than I do.
I mean,
Yeah,
yeah.
but
like
tieflings aren't an uncommon presence either.
Yeah, they're not
They're-
even an uncommon presence at House Castellanter.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
trying to make your life easier. Do you want my help or not?
I mean,
Other-
it might be
don't want
more
you to-
suspicious for you trying to disguise
Yeah,
yourself
I don't
poorly than
want
just.
excessive freaking out. Which
No,
I
this
know is
isn't
a challenge for you, Yuliy.
Wow. This isn't excessive freaking out. You want excessive freaking out? I could
No.
certainly do that.
He clearly stated that he does not want excessive freaking out.
This is not excessive freaking out. You've yet to
Well,
see
I still don't
excessive
want it.
freaking out.
I still don't want it.
I'm
In case
still
I need to
keeping
make
it.
that clear.
That's fine. You can keep it.
I'm saying that House Castellanter is not off the table as an option for investigating this turn of events. But since I want all of us to go together, I will leave it to the rest of you whether we go straight into potential danger at House Castellanter or go straight into potential danger at Castle Waterdeep.
I say we storm the castle. Figuratively, of course.
We
Not
should
like
go to the castle 'cause
actually
they're
storm
ones
the
who really
castle.
wanted you. And if you end up being arrested for one reason or another, Jhank went with you to the Castellanters. We can go to the Castellanters. It's like, hey, your boy got arrested. Help.
Yeah. And we can do that whole shtick all over again.
Yeah.
All right, well, Castle
Or we can just
Waterdeep it
pull a
is
prison
then.
break. Yeah, let's go.
Let's go.
Okay.
Hmm.
Do you go by foot or by carriage?
How far is it to Castle Waterdeep?
It's in the
Yeah, not
it
too
is
far actually.
yeah. I think it'd still be like a 20-minute walk or so, but
I would rather ride a carriage.
I'm walking. It is good for you.
Depends on like how long it takes to call a
Yeah.
carriage versus how long it would be to walk.
mhm.
Walking is good for you.
Yeah.
Let's go. Pushes
Yeah,
Walk-
all right.
pushes
All
Heather
right.
out the door.
Walking is good for you when you don't have a strength of 6.
Well,
Yeah, well, and besides,
Walking is
if
good
we're
for you,
if we're
because
seen
the
out on the
strength is
streets on the approach, it will one be less threatening, and two might invite other encounters if they're really that out for me. And in that case, we'll be further away from the castle, not where all the garrisons are.
Fun.
So yes, we will walk down the Street of Silver towards Castle Waterdeep.
All right. Something real fast.
Rolling
Okay.
behind the screen.
You see there are some guards patrolling this path. However, just as you would have been in their line of sight, they dip into Mulgamir's way, and it seems that they're cutting across the Street of Silks to meet up with a larger contingent of guards.
Oh dear.
ooh.
So, fortunately, no guards for you. So you make it to Castle Waterdeep relatively unscathed. At the front, as usual, there are 2 guards standing watch, and they don't seem to know that anyone's looking for you at the moment. So you are free
That's
to.
concerning.
I guess we just go in.
Yeah. Let's just go into the courtyard and see if we get attention there. Even
Okay.
though that'll put us in a surrounded position.
All right. I mean, I think that's probably fine.
How about no, let's not split up. Let's stick together.
That was almost a 1. Almost a 1.
Alrighty. So when you get into the courtyard, does anyone else want to roll perception?
Sure.
Yeah, might as well.
Okay. Here is what I'm going to say.
Oh boy.
Usk, Lander, Jhank, you see guards. You
many?
see there, it looks about 40 in total. It looks like 10 near each exit of the courtyard. It seems they're most, you get the sense that they're all sort of on edge just a slight bit. Yuliy and Victor, you see something else. You see entering the courtyard from the from one of the I guess it would be the west wing of the castle. You see an elf. An elf woman who is leaning heavily on a silver cane. And the lot of you hear one of the guard captains yelling out to you, all right, down on the ground, no weapons.
So we are under arrest
I
then.
didn't know anything.
Like sitting down, laying down on our knees.
Are you really going to get this pedantic?
Yeah, let's get pedantic with the cops. That sounds like a great idea.
Just on your knees, toss your weapons aside.
All right. Let's do it.
All right.
You
Spell
sure there's a
components
lot
too.
of them?
Yep.
Spell
Are you-
components too.
Yep.
Are you?
I'm just saying it's going to be really heavy for you guys. I am thinking about you.
Usk rolls his eyes.
Are you? Are you talking to us?
Yes.
Yes. They're talking to us.
You are the only people in the courtyard aside from these guards.
They're not talking to the other guards, of course.
All right. I do kneel and put aside my daggers and my short bow and quiver.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't suppose you can tell us why.
Because you are about to meet with the Open Lord of Waterdeep.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Everyone do what he says.
See,
Already been
Captain,
done.
this is what you start things with, and people don't think that you're getting arrested. You got to really work on your greetings, sir.
He responds, "It's up to her whether or not you're arrested."
Oh.
Okay, but you could have started with that, sir.
That
I
also
mean-
explains a lot.
Yeah.
Would it be okay if I just came back later?
Jhank, you're
No,
here with us
I
now.
doubt it.
The guards do not even respond to that.
Jhank will see how they react if he turns, not actually try to leave, but turns like he's planning
That's
to
just
leave.
a bad
Like you
idea.
want to
The
Sean,
direction
get down.
the direction you turn to shows several longbowmen readying their bows.
Pulls Jhank down to the ground. Let's go.
I mean, that makes it seem an awful lot like we are being arrested.
We might be.
You might be.
That's up to her to decide.
Listen. It's been a day.
Jhank will put his things down, but he'll be very. He will take a very extended like. Here is an axe that I'm carrying. I'm putting it down on the ground now. Here is another axe.
Oh, so going through the entire armory thing.
Yeah, we got 2 walking armories here.
Yeah.
No, I
I'm
have
just-
a great sword. That's it. Puts the great
I'm
sword
just saying
down.
that when we are required to drop everything and don't have an option to leave, you can get the idea that you are a prisoner.
We
might
are.
be.
Mhm.
The entire city
I
was
mean,
looking
it's
for
also
us.
it's also kind of
Well, except for the guards at the front
respectful to
gate.
not walk into a discussion with someone of power with weapons. It's kind of a thing. Relax, guys.
Next time we do one of these things, I am definitely staying behind because we seem to have a habit of having powerful people not
Appreciate
like
your
us
confidence
being
and
around.
loyalty, Jhank.
It's not my fault that these things keep happening when we walk into them.
Still
Well,
appreciate
you're
it.
part of it. Anyway.
The guards and the elven woman do not appear to take any sort of displeasure in however long you decide to take to put your stuff down.
There's a first.
they,
Listen,
they,
we're not in trouble.
they know they have the power here, so it's not really a concern to them how you decide to react. Or at least they're acting like they have all the power here.
Jhank will, and beyond that, Jhank will continue to, mutter and ramble on along the same train of thought as he continues to disarm himself in an extended process.
Alrighty. Once that process has fully completed, the elven woman steps out from behind the line of guards. She's leaning pretty heavily on the cane. It seems like she's dealing with a problem in one of her legs. And she approaches the lot of you, guards in tow, and says, I am terribly sorry about all of this. I understand that this is most troublesome, and she takes a look at Hollyhock. I have been told by my guards that there was some problematic encounters.
Just
I
a
hope
matter of confusion and amidst the urgency. Understandable.
Yes. You see, she gestures towards two guards who look super nervous, and they approach. And she says, now, you two said that these were the citizens that happened to carry these papers, correct? The ones from House Castellanter?
I can confirm that
guards-
for you myself.
The guards nervously nod, and she looks at you, Usk, and goes, do you happen to still have those papers on you?
I should.
May I see them, please?
Absolutely.
She steps forward, takes the papers from you, reads them for a few moments, a somewhat concerned look on her face, before handing them back. Thank you. I am, again, quite sorry about this. These papers were not approved by me.
Oh,
I am aware of this particular tunnel, and it seems someone in my inner circle has decided to give the Castellanters access that I am not fully comfortable with.
I was not aware at all, and I do apologize.
No, I understand. I am familiar with your work, but Usk, you have been nothing but honest in the time we've known each other.
Out of character. Oh boy.
Oh,
I mean, she's the Open Lord of Waterdeep. It's kind of her job to know things that go on in the city, especially when a bugbear rolls into town, starts working for the Castellaners, and does like bounty hunting. It's
Yeah,
something
fair.
that comes up.
I lower my head slightly and say, are you aware of the curse of the Undermountain?
Jhank is gonna raise up his hand and say, I was going to point out the same thing. We don't actually know you.
So out of character, do they realize that really the only way to disarm me is to actually cut off my arms? Or hands, at least?
Don't give them ideas.
Don't.
Out of character.
Don't mention it.
I don't think they know that offhand, no.
All right.
I imagine warlocks are not really like a greatly known
I've only got
quantity.
like 3 spells that require components.
Mm-hmm. I mean, there's still like a even if it's not components, there's usually something else.
A focus
With
Most
or
of my
whatever,
spells are
yeah.
verbal and somatic.
I mean, on a low level situation, Jhank is a minor living weapon in a sense.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I think the point is not to completely disarm us, but to make us at least much less armed.
You'll need to take at least a few seconds to try and attack her, which gives the guards behind you plenty of time to make
Shoot.
you pin cushions.
Because
Yeah.
they've readied their actions.
Yes.
Unless, of course, one of us was an illusionist, in which case, oh boy, bad things could happen.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, if
Yeah.
only we'd hired that guy to like put on a whole show for us.
If only you'd hired Merlin.
I attack. The guards fire at you from behind. Haha, they're actually attacking their boss.
Yep, that would be bad.
That would be a heck of a way to assassinate the Open Lord of Waterdeep.
Mm-hmm.
I love how we're talking about this.
No, we're not.
I mean,
we're
out of
absolutely
character.
not. This is out
Yeah,
of
no.
Out
character.
of character.
I'm saying it out of character.
I know.
Yeah.
I love how we're discussing this out of character. As
Yeah.
if we were going to do it.
So anyway, we left off with me being like, "Are you aware of the curse of water of the Undermountain?" And Jhank going, "Yeah, we don't know you."
She frowns and says, a shame. Yes, I am familiar with the curse. It is important to me to keep a close eye on things that happen in and under my city.
Then I must apologize. We've lost whatever working relationship we had.
Well, I suppose there's not much I can do about that. Still, I can tell that you did not intend to cause problems here, so lower your arrows, please. And the guards all sort of get into a less readied position. Again, I apologize that it came to this. I was just worried that the Castellanters were finally making a move.
Understand. I do.
I would like to request that you join me for dinner tonight, if it's not too much trouble.
Well, we've still probably got time before we disintegrate, so yeah.
Yeah, it hasn't been 24 hours, so...
All right.
Yeah.
We would be honored and delighted.
Will we be required to just leave our weapons in a pile again?
I would request that you don't bring weapons in the first place, but I understand if you feel the need to.
Well, you know, you
Let's
never
be
know when
polite
you're
about
going
this.
to need them, and in my line of work.
I'm
I
if
understand.
something happens, the castle has an armory,
Yeah.
Yes,
and if
but
something
they wouldn't be
happens that
mad
we're on
like-
the same side for a conflict, they will most likely share.
Mm-hmm.
Those are
It
acceptable
is-
terms.
Very good. When you arrive, I would like as much information as you have pertaining to what it is you have been doing these last few weeks, if you have it. And Furthermore, if you have managed to recover any part of your memories or found some knowledge about how you dealt with the Zhentarim, I would extremely appreciate you bringing that as well.
That's a word I don't recognize.
That's a word I don't recognize.
It's a word.
What? I didn't even hear the word. I'm sorry.
Zhentarim?
I get the
Zhentarim.
I am getting the idea.
Oh, I know that word.
You
Me,
do?
I myself know
I
that
am
word.
getting the idea that we probably need as much of a information drop from you as you need from us.
Then I would be happy to trade what I have with what you have. Hence the point of the dinner.
Yes. Just so we might do some digging before this dinner, could you remind us about the Zhentarim?
The Zhentarim.
Zhentarim. Sorry, I forgot to check the back of the book on pronunciation guide.
I hear Zhentarim as the pronunciation consistently, so I go with that just because that's what I
Yeah.
hear a lot.
Makes
So how do you spell it?
It is
With a lot of these.
Mm.
By
It
that I
is-
mean
I'm gonna put it in the chat.
One is already too many.
It's got a silent H in it.
So the
Okay.
captions got it perfectly.
They sure did.
That is
But they can never get chummer.
Neat. It does tend to know weird specific D&D words.
yeah.
Mhm.
Words
Um,
popular in the zeitgeist for whatever reason, yeah.
like Zeitgeist. So she takes a moment and says, the Zhentarim are an organization that aims to take Lord Daggalt Neverember's dragon horde for themselves for the purpose of empowering their wizard master Manchun.
Oh, that guy.
Word I remember.
So
I remember
we must
hearing
have
about him.
we must have dealt with them while we were pursuing the heist.
Now the question is, did we kill Manchun or did we kill a fake?
Fake, maybe. Oh.
Avis
Okay.
makes hand motions at no.
All right. Thank you for the reminder. I'm going to check some of my notes and we'll be back for dinner.
Do we need to
Thank
get dressed up?
No, what you're wearing is fine. I
Well,
am
because I don't like putting on dresses. I'm sorry.
not one for formalities when they can be avoided.
All right.
And unless you have any other questions for Laeral Silverhand before she heads out, she will head out.
I mean, what do you ask the Open Lord of Waterdeep when you get the
Mhm.
chance?
Stuff we ask at dinner.
Now, does she
When we're not,
have
like-
silver hands or do her hands turn things to silver?
She has silver hands.
Roll history?
She has a silver cane.
Yeah, she has a silver cane. She is an extremely well-known wizard. Full name, I hope I pronounced this right. God, Anamanue Laeral Silverhand, who is the 5th of the 7 daughters of the goddess Mistra.
Ooh.
Oh.
So she is powerful. She
I guess
also
you kind of have to be in order to run a city
Yeah.
like this.
and with a 21 lander, that's high enough. You know that she did not really want to become the Open Lord of Waterdeep. She only
Mhm.
did it because Daggalt Neverember was ousted.
Okay.
So she has been the Open Lord of Waterdeep for about a decade now, and she does not really enjoy the job.
I would
Good
hope
to know.
not, considering she's the only one that has a face out of the Lords of Waterdeep.
Yeah.
Because there's more than one. This is
Mhm.
the only one that the people know of, though.
Because she's the
Exactly.
open lord, the lord that's out in the open.
Yep.
Mhm.
And that's why, again, the guards are like pretty on edge anytime she interacts with people.
That's fair.
Oh boy. Well, I'm gonna head back to head back to my place, look through some of my cipher books, and see if there's any information on Zentrum and the dragon heist.
I could also look through those books too, see if I can decipher them.
I'm the one who actually knows the ciphers, though.
Yeah, but I could try.
I'd rather you didn't.
All right, all right. All right.
You want to go? You want to go down to? You want to go down to Skullport and pick a fight with a Xanathar Guild goon?
Well, didn't we like
No.
Boy,
have a
that
whole
would-
agreement to not do that?
In Skullport?
That's true. There might be some up here. You can find them.
That would still like word of that happening would get down there though. They're not
Yeah,
like
but it was
branches.
in Skullport.
Okay, here's an idea. If we
Mm.
now Hollyhock is with us, but she is not officially with us. Meaning, if we
Correct.
can identify like a lone member, we could have her go rough him up. We can come in, we can save the guy, and we can come in as heroes rather than villains.
But I think Yuliy wants to be the one doing the roughing up.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to fight, Hollyhock will gladly just fist fight you.
Mhm.
Yeah, because it's like, I can't do anything. Holly, can we spar, please?
She will nod and take a boxing stance.
Do it
So
outside.
How does your armor compare to her fist?
I mean,
Does it-
There is a
Does your armor dent or does her fist dent?
Probably
You
want
know,
to
there
just
is
not
a,
wear the
um,
armor for a sparring boxing match.
Hey, Yuliy, there is a fighting ring down in what is the name?
We're aware.
Skullport.
Where in the where is it? Is it?
That requires going down to Skullport. I'm literally
There is
just
a
fist
fighting
fight-
ring down
fighting.
in Skullport. If you're willing to pay up the betting fee, you still need to pay there.
But it's
I don't know
also
what
down in
you're talking
Waterdeep.
about.
Well, we could go there and you could find out.
Nah, that's all right. I'm just gonna fist fight with Holly right here.
Yeah, that would take like 5 hours or so.
So are we basically just eating time until dinner?
Yes.
Basically,
Mhm.
yeah.
I think
Yes.
so. Unless you have anything in particular you wanted to do. Waterdeep's a big city. You could there's lots of stuff to explore and check out.
Hmm.
I
I
want
just
to
can't think of
try
anything I want to do.
enchanting.
Sorry, what?
I want to do some enchanting rolls.
Okay.
So just Arcana.
Yeah,
Downtime.
Woo, downtime. Oh,
Oof.
Good thing it's cumulative and not just a single check.
Right?
Yep. mm-hmm.
Here-
Okay. Let me go ahead and I'm gonna start typing out stuff to Usk. Just let me know what y'all want to do, and I'll respond as I work on it.
So is
Alright.
everyone planning to stay in the house, or is anyone interested in potentially going and seeing what we can?
Well,
You might-
Yuliy and Hollyhock are going to fight outside, not in my
Aw.
house.
Aw.
Well,
I mean, the
here's
house
an
is
idea.
pretty small anyway.
Yuliy
compared
and
to the
Holly-
outside.
Yuliy-
I mean, I was already gonna do it outside. You're the ones that mentioned the house.
what about finding criminals that can make the mistake of picking on the wrong people?
I don't know if vigilantism really flies that hard in Waterdeep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And to get picked on, Yuliy would need to not wear her armor. I don't think anyone's going to go challenging a tiefling that's heavily armored. At least not if they're smart.
Yeah, this
Yeah,
ain't,
probably.
this
Yeah,
ain't, this
but
ain't
now
a
I'm
comic
really
book.
keen
Crime
on
isn't
the-
just something you go out and find.
Mhm.
I'm also
Unless
really
you're
keen
Spider-Man.
on starting with Holly right now. I'm really keen on the idea.
So what
Right.
details does she
Um,
need?
Pow, 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 pow,
I will.
pow,
I'll tell you. I'll tell you what. I'll write out like more journal detail version, a journal detail version later. But I'll just get you like the actual what you know.
Yeah, the Cliff's
I should
Notes would be just fine.
Yeah, I should probably do that for right now, and I'll
So
do
real quick,
proper journaling.
the
later.
unarmed combat has that clause of it's your strength modifier to a minimum of 1. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. My
Yeah.
strength mod
Okay.
is 3.
So I cannot heal people by punching them.
No. Yuliy, I'm gonna have you just go ahead and roll raw strength because why not?
That's
I don't
not
know, 3 times.
well.
Okay,
Hollyhock,
so
Hollyhock is apparently not into this fight as you are.
Hollyhock starts
starts-
off strong.
Yeah, start strong, but
but
then the tide turns to Yuliy.
Yeah.
Seems like it.
difference in experience.
Yeah,
And probably
Combine
difference in like
experience.
motivation too.
yeah. Hollyhock's just trying to help out someone who helped her, and Yuliy is venting.
Yuliy is venting and having fun.
Yes.
By beating up her
Jhank-
friend.
I am sparring.
I suppose
There
Jhank,
is a
will
difference
go-
between sparring and beating someone up. Excuse.
Jhank will go wandering the surrounding neighborhood. He won't go too far away, but he'll just go wandering in the general vicinity of this residence.
And roll perception.
Skills. Should I roll for Crunch Bite too?
Sure.
So second
Taking
roll.
the dog on a walk.
Yes. Yeah, I am. Jhank is taking his dog for a walk.
I'm
You know,
probably gonna
I'll
need a
send
new
my
safe
owl to
house here
keep an
soon.
eye on them.
This spot has. I've got to have like an actual like secret safe house somewhere, right?
That 19 is the
Oh.
owl keeping an eye on them.
Yeah. That's the one on Siren Street is your public address.
Yeah.
No, bad lizard. Okay. I will get back to that in just a moment.
Okay.
All right, real fast. With an 8 and a 9, you don't notice anything out of place. Lander, with a 19, your owl does in fact catch sight of something. It appears to be a relative noble person dipping into a store. But they're doing it in a way that is like they are clearly
Suspicious.
trying to like be inconspicuous about it and doing a very bad job. And that store was sorry, pulling up my list again.
Right, but well, that can either be a plot thread for him to follow up on later, unless he wants to try and draw Jhank's attention to it and
Yeah.
see if Jhank pulls on that thread.
I probably won't.
Fair enough.
That's fairly big.
What is?
I'll wait until
The
everyone's back
realization
together.
or the note?
The note. What I've deciphered from my notes. What I've deciphered.
You see the owl is going into an alchemist shop. And that alchemist shop is named the Westward Path.
This is what the owl sees, right?
Yeah, that is what the owl sees. Unfortunately, unless the owl alerts Jhank, nothing.
I mean, honestly, the whole point was to keep Jhank out of trouble.
Fair enough.
So I feel like pointing him in the direction of that would be leading him into trouble.
Victor, did you have anything you wanted
is-
to do in your downtime?
That is a reasonable assumption to make.
Digo?
Victor? Digo?
Oh, he went to the bathroom.
Oh, whoops, I missed that.
Yeah.
We can cover that when Digo gets back then.
Sounds like he was just spectating the fight, the sparring, and adding his own sound effects.
Okay. If you got, we'll keep you informed on what happens, Jawa.
All right.
Okay. If I don't get back before the whole dinner concludes, Jhank is definitely going to want to bring up what he knows about the whole invasion thing.
Okay. Yeah.
Like the Mind Flayer invasion or the ship invasion?
The Mind Flayer invasion from beyond the world that the whole ship thing is supposed to be helping stop. And such.
Yeah.
Right.
The ships aren't invading; they're just docking.
So they're invading the
Okay.
docks.
Not how that works.
So, y'all want to hear what I've deciphered?
Yeah.
It's quite spicy.
Oh, one thing I did realize I forgot to mention, the date on this is about 6 months ago.
Oh.
That's probably important to know.
So for
So-
this iteration, we've been awake for like a week.
Few days at most, yeah.
It's been about 6 days.
Okay. So
I
almost
still
a week.
can't believe that part.
We've probably barely slept.
Seems like I've contacted my patron every 3 days. 'Cause I'm pretty sure my first contact with them, aside from the actual renewing of the contract, was that I had been alive for 3 days.
Hmm.
Now it's day 6. And I contacted him again. Oh, Digo's back.
All right.
What I miss?
I'm about to tell you what I deciphered.
Was there anything you wanted to do in the downtime?
I'll probably just clean the house up a bit.
I had cannons that you were watching Yuliy and Hollyhock spar and adding your own sound effects.
Oh, yeah, probably.
So, a thief tried to swipe something from the Castellanter Manor, and in exchange for not being killed on the spot, she told me about a Zentrum plot to kidnap Terenzio for ransom. Who's
Now,
Terenzio?
is that the dead one?
Is that the one we killed?
No, the dead one is Osvaldo. This is one of the
Okay.
twins.
Right, yes,
Oh, okay.
Terenzio is one of the twins, right. So the Zentrum were plotting to kidnap one of the Castellanter twins for ransom. Tracking down that lead led to the discovery of the existence of the Dragon Horde. So I gathered you all from the dungeon to deal with the Zentrum and use them, you all, the Zentrum, to find the Horde. We got the Stone of Galore, and in the process, killed their leader, the wizard Manshun. The last line I've got is, Lander took the body for himself.
Okay.
Okay.
So that's probably the death of the fake that I was trying to learn from. So that Manshun was probably fake.
Okay. Where's the body now?
Probably in Diz, if I had to guess.
Do you know more about this whole body changing thing than we do?
No. I just know that I at one point was in a contract with the city of Diz in the second layer of hell. Is that right?
It's the second
Yes.
layer.
Yeah.
Like what? Oh, you took the body.
So something probably happened around there.
Hmm.
At that point, I assume we had already swapped bodies.
Yeah.
So someone tried to steal something. You found out that one of the kids was going to get kidnapped. So you went down to the dungeon to find us, to get us to do this and get the horde, and then shit happened.
We
So it
killed-
sounds like at least the 3 of us were together. Jhank might have also been with us at that point, and then Usk found us, and we went and did the heist, killed Manshun, and then the rest is history that we can't remember.
Yeah.
The entry makes it seem as though Usk was already familiar with you all at this point.
Okay.
And it's the whole group, not missing anybody.
All right.
Yeah.
So I guess he was off on one of his. He was just away from the party at the time.
Yeah, so that implies that we kind of learned about the heist from hints. Why did we come to Waterdeep?
I don't know.
I really feel like us going to the dungeon had something to do with the body swapping. Like, I feel like the body swapping happened before the dungeon.
What did you drag me into?
You
came
have
with
come
us,
down-
apparently.
You must have come down to the Undermountain for your own reasons.
We might have all been traveling there.
Yeah, now I want to know
But-
that reason. Because I know
Yeah.
one reason for something. I know another reason for another thing. I need to drink.
Yeah.
If you thought that
This-
sentence was not going anywhere else, you don't know me.
This line, Lander took the body for himself. Like, I don't know if that meant that, like, you took Manchun's body just, like, as, like, a specimen, or as, like, another body to swap into.
No, I don't think it's that one.
Yeah, no, these are
'Cause
definitely. These are.
I don't
definitely-
think I meant to swap with Victor. I feel like that me was a lot less morally gray than maybe some of the past me's.
Where did this note come from?
That sounds interesting.
What if our bard swap was an accident if you trying to body swap something else?
I doubt it. I really
So
feel like it was some Feywild trickery.
It seems like this was about 6 months ago.
Did you have dates on your book pages, Victor?
Sometimes not. It's kind of hard to say.
Okay.
I wasn't a very good note taker at the time.
I don't think I've ever specifically used dates with you, Victor.
Yeah.
And I think it's specifically because with that particular system, dates would fill up a lot of space and time.
That's fair. I should probably look at things on my wall other than the shrines.
Question for Lander. What do you recall? There's something on your little shrine stuff from the one that was a devil. What did that say again?
Which one? Because there were a few.
I
Which devil
think
altar?
There's only the one devil
Yeah, I
altar,
mean, like-
but there was specifically
Yeah.
Yuliy read.
Oh yeah, that's that one thing about the things being broken.
It was
or the
about the
contract
contract
breaking.
being broken.
Yeah.
It was.
Okay.
I know it's on here. It's in the notes. I just can't remember
I
specific.
don't know. I'm going through them.
Let's see.
So us bumping into the Zentarum was a bit of an accident, but following that lead led us to
Some very important knowledge.
yeah.
Mhm.
And then we all tracked it down. I guess racing the Zentarum to the bounty.
I guess.
Is it?
So I just made short backstory note public. That's just the King's Tower glimmers with a stolen light, which is no longer useful.
Yeah, it's not the one I was looking for though.
Yeah.
Where is it?
It might not be here.
That's possible.
Well, I think that's
short backstory note.
That's probably all the deciphering that probably took enough time before dinner.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I'm ready to head back to Castle Waterdeep.
Mostly because I'm trying. I know that your pack removal was violent. I'm trying to gauge how violent because we might need you to talk to them.
Mm-hmm.
about a couple hundred things, and I
Couple-
want it, and I need to gauge how much they're gonna smack you into a wall.
That was worst case scenario is I can look it up. We can look it up after the fact, and that was in like session 11, I think.
She's right
Hmm.
though. You probably did either leverage your patron or leave it with your
Oh
patron.
no, I know. Like one of the few things I do remember of it is that I made a comment that he pissed them off, but I don't remember what was said.
I probably died and then didn't have my soul go to them.
Yeah, but there's
But
pissing
then
someone
again-
off and then being like, or whatever, and then being like, "Hey, I'm gonna kick your guts out." You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember that the shrine to the fiend is like, among other things, scorched.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there was something that it was in Infernal, and at the time I was the only one who could read it.
Yep. I'll get
And-
it back to you.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have to deal with them, whether that means dialogue or force. So I guess just
One way or another, the devils are going to come into play.
Yeah.
Yep.
So hopefully we will be prepared for that. We just need to figure out how we'll be prepared for that. But that is going to be kind of on the list of things to do at some point.
Because not gonna lie, your current patron doesn't help us with finding out what happened in the past.
I mean, he can help with some things, just not everything.
Yeah. I mean,
just not with what the previous patron might have done.
Mm-hmm.
yeah. I mean, I feel like it's not just been one patron for a time, then the other patron for a time, then the other patron for a time. I think it's been like mix and match through different lives.
Yeah, but for
'Cause, yeah.
at least for the start, we know for a fact that Oberon was not your patron during the time of the heist, which is
Yes.
what we need to find out. So we can't go ask Father Dearest
Yeah.
about what happened in a period of time where he didn't know you.
He might have known me. He was my patron for 4 times in 4 lives. Or I think, no, was this the 4th? This might be the 4th. Yeah. So 3 previous times he was my patron. And yeah.
In a way, I have made all of you warlocks.
You're like a bad boyfriend.
Oof.
Well,
You keep
Lander
changing
shrugs
your
at
way.
that.
Wow.
Anyway, I think we've got
This
a
is
dinner to
literally
get
the
to.
discussion on the way there.
So yes, you enter Castle Waterdeep once more. The guards escort you. It's just 2. It's not a whole entourage this time. Escort you to the dining hall, or rather, past the dining hall into a area connected directly to the kitchen. With
Like-
a short.
the
with
place where the servants eat.
Yeah, kinda.
All right.
And you see Lyrol Silverhand sitting at the table. It's not a banquet, it is a modest meal for all of you.
Nice.
But it looks, it still looks very good. It's not this exorbitant fancy feast. And Lyrol is sitting there, calmly eating what appears to be a plate of nothing but vegetables.
All right, well, take our seats and yeah. I imagine it's a little awkward. Kind of wait for her to start the conversation because she is kind of the one in control here.
Oh yeah. She takes a few moments to not completely finish, but to get to a satisfied point. Gesturing for you to partake while she's eating.
Of course we do.
And then after a few moments, she stops and says, "Sorry for eating first and before you all. I was rather busy today and did not have time to sate my appetite."
We're not much for manners here, so.
Right.
Eating's important.
Yeah.
That is what my friends keep telling me, but they're not in charge of this city, are they? She takes a moment and says, "All right. What information would you like from me? And what information do you have for me?"
Unfortunately, for the past few, in terms of what we've been doing for the past few weeks, there is frustratingly little we know. This current iteration of us has been around for about 6 days. And as far as finding Lord Neverember's horde and facing off against Zentarum and the Wizard Manchun, that was months ago. As far as we know.
Mm-hmm.
See. Well, that is unfortunate.
Yeah. Though we do have reason to believe that we killed Manchun and that iteration of me took his body. But there's also some reason to believe that that might have been a fake.
Well, that is the problem with Manchun. None of them know if they are or aren't fakes.
One of those.
Yes.
Has Zentarum continued to be a problem since then?
They hadn't for a while. It seemed as though whatever you did wiped them out completely,
Whoa.
at least in this region. However, I have gotten word from my informants that there are a few stragglers, perhaps, or in the worst case, a vanguard, who are trying to make their way back
Back?
here to the city from elsewhere.
Outstanding. What do you think their goal might be?
Well, it depends on whether or not they are under the sway of another Manchun or not. If they happen to have been sent out from the city under the Manchun that you killed, then they might be coming back to get vengeance, or simply do not know that they no longer have a superior here. If they're from elsewhere, then there is a chance that Manchun has stumbled across the same information that the one you slay did, and is attempting to get the horde of dragons for himself.
Which
Well-
is now in our possession, albeit in 5 very difficult to reach parts.
Is that so?
Mm-hmm.
Well,
I am not sure if we ever told you.
no, you did not.
Well then,
And
yes,
for that
reason
matter,
to believe that we found and emptied Lord Neverember's horde for our own purposes.
And each of us offered it to someone else.
Yes, it's been a hell of a web to untangle.
seems to me that despite getting a fortune, you all cashed checks you could not keep.
Yes, and now our at least my goal for this particular instance of Usk of House Castellanter is to try and untangle it as much as possible. Because this will, if our goal in the longest term is to conquer the Undermountain, seems we have infinite attempts to try until the entropy of the universe. then this stuff
That's-
is just going to keep getting in our way over and over again until it's too late.
Yes, I suppose that is true, but at the same time, the series of events you have pulled yourself in stretch far too wide to be something that simply ends. The Zhentarim have agents all throughout Faerun. If they get word of this in any capacity, then I'm certain that will be something you never stop dealing with. And no doubt, same with Xanathar. Despite his best efforts to take the upper city, he has, at the very least, been particularly picky about those making their homes in his city.
Well, we already know he hates us, so that's nothing new.
That relationship is a whole other beast. Dormant for now, at least.
I see. Well, that is most unfortunate.
It really, this entire twisted series of events has been very unfortunate. I do wish we had more information to offer you than that. But we're still scrambling for scraps ourselves.
Well, I understand that you are dealing with something most unfortunate, so I am in no place to judge. She looks at you, Yuliy.
What?
And says, if you have some suspicions of me, I highly recommend you simply state them out loud.
Man, in all honesty, we've met a lot of people who have said things and then it turned out to be really angry with us.
Hmm.
Well, unfortunately, I have no reason to be angry with you if that is what you were looking forward to. I am dealing with thousands upon thousands of people's lives here. No matter how great the adventure, I can only keep track of so much.
Understandable.
Mm-hmm.
What information can I provide with you to help?
Goodness. Well, I imagine we didn't tell you much about the actual location of Lord Neverember's horde.
No, I was not informed of where it was. It was not something that I ever particularly felt like searching for.
Fair enough.
Hmm.
Zhentarim.
Probably not at all what I should be asking,
Hmm.
but if you're willing to share any rituals you might know.
More spells, please.
Yep.
I just can't think of any.
I mean,
I'm trying to think of questions. I'm just like, I don't think this is the person I ask about that.
yeah. I mean, one of
Possibly
my
not.
goals is to get every single ritual. So,
Listen,
Yeah.
a lot of my questions are very specific and very broad.
True. You are also dealing with the Open Lord of Waterdeep, who has made it very clear that she has people watching all over the city.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Laeral pauses for a moment and then looks at you, Usk, and says, I have a very important question for you in particular.
Is that so?
Yes. Are you, in fact, still in league with the Castellanter's patron?
It was a specific point on both our parts that I not be affiliated with their patron as such.
Well, that will make things easier long term, I believe.
In fact, that's part of the scheme. The Castellanters aren't too fond of the situation their patrons put them in, either. And I am the key to that.
Yes, I understand that it's quite tragic for everyone. However, what I want is an absolutely honest answer. Do you seek the same goals as the Castellanters?
That's a very good question. I can't say with certainty I know all of the Castellanters' intentions.
Well,
But what I seek is, as much as possible, an end to this tragedy without further bloodshed.
that is an acceptable answer. Thank you.
Because the more I've learned about my past, the more I've realized I've seen too much. And too much thanks to the handiwork of devils. This will not have been my first, I have learned.
Well, I suppose it's good to know for certain who one's enemies are.
Whether or not they deserve it, I'm trying to be their savior.
She nods at that. Oh, sorry.
I don't pretend I can redeem them. But when you're under that kind of thumb, it's hard to feel like you have any choice without outside intervention.
She nods again. Lander, she turns to you and says, "Unfortunately, I cannot give you anything from my private collection of spells, but you do have access to the library, and there are some spell books and spell scrolls there.
All right.
Perhaps you can find what you need inside."
Speaking of,
Mm-hmm.
if she doesn't already have it, I feel like Commune with City would be a very useful one for her.
She's got it.
Yeah,
Okay.
there's no way she doesn't know that.
Well, all right. I do like libraries.
Libraries are good. I will say that at this point, Jhank chimes in with his full story. And she looks concerned with that. She calls one of the guards over, and you hear her mention fetching someone else. The name you hear is Vajra Safar. And the guard salutes and runs off to presumably fetch her. And she informs Jhank that she will take that matter into consideration and discuss it with her right hand, basically.
Is that name at all familiar?
You can probably roll his. Oh, you did roll history.
Yeah.
With a 22, you know that Vajra Safar is the current Blackstaff of Waterdeep, which is like wizard to the Open Lord kind of thing.
So the wizard's wizard.
Yeah, the wizard's wizard. It's the High Wizard of Waterdeep specifically.
Okay.
And it's basically it is her. She's the one who has to like actually deal with all of the like updating the magical defenses of the city and keeping everything sort of together. And the title of it, the Blackstaff, comes from the fact that the Blackstaff always has the Blackstaff. which holds the soul of every other previous black staff before them.
Well,
So it's a lot.
That's a lot of magical power.
It's
Speaking
a
of
lot of
magical
magical
protections.
power. Mhm.
should we mention how there's that giant something or other in the ethereal realm that some of us keep seeing?
No.
Until we
I don't-
understand exactly what it is.
Yeah, I think
would
that
say
would.
no.
I think that would just
That's
end
a
up
brown
causing a lot
thing.
more confusion
I mean,
and panic than anything else.
kind of already is the case with
Well,
the
yes,
invasion.
but we still don't understand. Like, we understand the nature of the invasion. We don't understand the nature of the thing in the ethereal realm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's not like a clear threat
Yeah,
to
that's
Waterdeep.
fair.
That's a threat to something that Bronwyn has to deal with, and it is a Bronwyn thing.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
All right,
Yeah.
Victor, Yuliy, do you have any questions?
Yeah. Do you have the recipe for these cheese curds? Because they're just really good.
She chuckles at that, and one of the chefs comes over and describes it at great detail to you.
Ooh.
Doesn't have it written down anywhere. It's all up in the noggin.
I'll take notes.
I actually do. Don't get excited.
All right, I had to cough.
Oh, it sounded like you're inhaling with a excited. Care to top this off? And it's the font because I'm remembering this fucking conversation.
Oh, fair enough. Fair enough. Yes, she fetches you, or they bring wine to the table. Let me add it to your list.
You should absolutely ask to bring the bottle home.
No, I just have to remember what it is.
Is that
Oh,
how
yeah.
that
It would
works?
probably help if you brought the bottle home.
It would probably help if I brought the bottle home.
Please, wine rack. Go ahead and add it to font used on.
I showed someone my Google Docs once and they saw it and they had questions.
Wonder why.
As I've said before, I don't drink, so they were very concerned.
Alrighty. It is going to be Water Davian. Let's see.
Time to look up all these fictional wines.
Listeners, there is a doc.
There's a doc, yes.
There's a lot of them.
And you've gone through like
And these are just wines.
They're not all wines. Some are
Some
wines. They're not all wines.
yeah.
Uh,
Some are mysterious liquids.
Yep.
Yep. And I haven't figured out what happens if I drink certain things. But I do know that I have to fill it. And I will tell you, I have questioned in what if blood is considered a liquid.
Oh, jeez.
Okay. I was about to ask that.
Oh, jeez.
Well, I
And
mean,
how mu-
sometimes
And how much would constitute getting a usage? I have to fill it.
if there's something you want to know and people are dying around you and you don't have any other liquid,
All right. I've added it.
blood.
Peaceful
Yay.
Slumber, 1426, Water Davian Chardonnay.
A very fine year.
Yeah, so I think I've said it before, but the specifics on how it works is like it doesn't have to be the like exact same bottle. It just needs to be like from the same batch. If that makes sense.
Yes, because it also refills when it's used. Sort of.
So
That's how.
because like among other things to think about, there's literally no way for all the blood to be the same because it dies and gets,
Yeah.
processed
yeah.
and forms again. So like,
Well,
yeah, if blood is going to be a thing to drink, then it needs to be more like from the same general batch. It's also magic, so
Like, from the same person.
yeah, from the same person.
listen, my question had my curiosity in that regard had been, what happens if I make someone give me a pint of their blood, and what do I learn when I drink it?
Well, chances are, if you've just got some random person's blood, nothing.
Oh,
But
it
one
was
of
not.
us,
The intention was not a
maybe.
random person's blood. And
Should
then
probably-
I realized what I thought.
Should
All right.
probably start with your blood.
All right, scrubs, line up.
Listen, it was a thought, and then I sat and looked at myself in the mirror for a good 10 minutes. It's like, why did I think that?
And
Yeah.
then Yuliy became a vampire.
That thought also came into my mind. I'm like, I am a monster.
I think
I mean-
same point of origin is the easiest way to describe the like where
Yes.
where you get the info.
Mhm.
So like drinking from one river will give you different information than drinking from a different river.
Well, now we got to go drink from rivers.
I wouldn't recommend it.
Probably
I
not.
mean, there's one on the 5th floor.
There's one on the 3rd floor.
Here's the better question, since we're gonna keep on this line of conversation. What happens if I drink Lander's blood? Do I recall stuff about Victor or Lander?
Oh, yeah.
Question.
How about we don't draw pints of blood from anyone today?
Dessert
Or-
sounds really good about now. Let's do
Or
that.
yeah.
I mean, I think it depends on whether at the time you were trying to remember something about the other, whoever it was.
Listen,
Because it seems
Oh.
like you need to make like an active choice of remembering for it to work.
Oh, right.
Yep.
I do have a question.
all I'm saying is science.
I do like science.
Laryl has one of the chefs bring out a cheesecake, a small cheesecake.
Yay.
Since you asked for dessert.
So, us got another question?
Yeah.
That conversation also was not happening because I don't talk about the font in public
Oh yeah, absolutely not.
at
If
all.
it happened at all in character, it was telepathy. Which Yuliy would absolutely hate.
No, she would scream. Her line of thinking would stop and she would start screaming.
I ask her if she knows anything about any of my past interactions with House Rosnar.
Oh yeah.
Because I
Wow.
still have one of their platinum signet rings attached to a finger.
Should you go and return that at some point?
I was confused because I thought that, in the beginning, I thought that I was from House Rosnar.
Mhm.
I was under the impression that you were on a mission to go find someone of theirs.
Yeah, that's kind of what
And you did.
Yeah, and I haven't really gotten any more clues about that particular task of mine.
Well, the Rosnar family was largely banished from the city some time ago due to their dreadful habit of slavery. However, there were a few who gave up their land and nobility just to remain in the city. Perhaps you were dealing with one of them. Since they have departed, I have not kept as close an eye on them as perhaps I should have.
Okay. I don't know how important it is in the grand scheme of things, but I was clearly doing something for them. Something important enough that one of their effects still remained when I was reconstituted.
May I see it?
Well, actually, this was probably from the first time around if it stayed with you the entire time. Which, who knows how long ago that was.
I pull out the
It's like months.
the red leather pouch with gold insignia,
Mm-hmm.
and take out the platinum ring bearing the symbol.
Bearing the symbol of House Rosnar.
Yeah. A diving white falcon on a field of blue. It's inscribed on the inside of the band are the words to cress, fly high, and stoop swift.
She takes it and examines it very carefully.
Now, you took the finger out first, right?
Yes.
There wasn't a finger in it.
Okay.
No, it was just the ring.
Yeah, I don't believe I ever said it was on a finger. I think it was just the ring.
The item description mentions it's still on a finger.
Oh, whoops. Sorry, I forgot to edit that part out because it's different from how you would find it normally.
Gotcha.
Did I just say normally?
I don't know.
Like the cat? Anyways, she takes a look at it and says, Press. I believe this would belong to Chrysando Rosnar. Last I checked, he was delving into Skullport to do something. I had not seen or heard from him since.
So someone from the remaining Rosnars did hire me to find Cress.
Yes, you might. You might have some fortune dealing with his sister as well, or perhaps. Sorry, making sure I have the right names here because I do not want to screw this up again.
You went down the Undermountain to Skullport. There's a chance you might still be down there.
And there's quite a number of things that they could have hired you to find him for.
That is also true. Probably best to figure out what the objective actually was.
Yep.
Their father, Roltame, I believe, maintains a small amount of farmland in the castle ward, but I do not know if he has kept in touch with his children. They parted on very inflammatory terms.
I had a flash of memory shortly after we came out of the cave. I met with someone. I feel like it might have been the sister.
I don't think Laeral can answer that question for you.
No, I'm just thinking out
just
loud
like-
here. I'm just thinking out loud. I feel like the sister is slightly more likely, but
yeah.
I'm just trying to think about why I would have taken on this task in the first place. I'm not sure, but I have to assume that I must have been taking on probably a bunch of jobs just to try and raise funds to pay off the Castellanter's debt. But if they're not actually like an actual noble house anymore, they might not actually have that much money.
So maybe you were doing it for something else.
Yeah, and again, this isn't really like high on my priority list, but it's conspicuous enough that, but like my whole like history, the more we dig into it, it's more like, yeah, I was doing this shady job and this shady job and this shady job.
Dang.
But I was sent to find. I see what you said there, Yuliy and Infernal. I don't know. It could be a dead end, or it might open something up. And I'm not sure how much I want to bet on it. But like from the very beginning, I was confused to the point where I thought I was from House Rosnar, which doesn't even make sense knowing what we know now.
Right.
I would like to follow up on this lead. Does anyone else have a problem with that?
Nope.
Nah. I probably have a bunch of questions that I've forgotten multiple times.
Well, if you find yourself with more questions you feel you need to ask of me later, you are free to return, and I have informed the guards that you are free to use that stairwell.
Oh.
So,
I appreciate it.
you do not have anything to fear about the guards being startled by your appearance, but please keep that staircase a secret as best you can.
Yes.
Mm.
Absolutely. That's a security risk. Totally understand.
And if you have any other information, anything at all that you feel could benefit my city, please bring it to me at your earliest convenience.
What sort of information would you be on the lookout for?
Anything that could be a threat.
Fair enough. Well, Jhank gave you his spiel, and that's probably the biggest thing on our radar.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Alrighty then.
At this point, a young-looking woman wearing a heavy black cloak and holding a very large black staff enters the room and approaches Laeral Silverhand. And they speak in hushed tones about the events that have been described for her. There's a lot of incredulity in the tone of the young Blackstaff. And just as she finishes speaking, she turns to look at all of you, and you can see that the woman under the hood is scowling pretty heavily. And then her face becomes extremely confused, and she just approaches the nearest person, who I'm going to say is Yuliy. And she just sort of kneels down, grabs your arm, raises it up, and she's examining you.
My face is up here. Please ask before touching. Hello? Can I help you?
As she says that, as you say that, she grabs your face with both hands, turns it to look completely at her, opens one of your eyes really wide, pulls apart.
Yes, I do need an adult. Hello?
Is something the matter, Blackstaff?
Maybe she's examining what the body of a deceased person's like.
You can ask.
She pauses and says, never seen a golem who could speak before. Turns around and says, she turns back to Laeral, who is scowling at Blackstaff. Or at Vajra, I should say.
Yes, we're reanimated dust thanks to one of the Mad Mage's apprentices. Yes, thanks for reminding us.
Laeral is, as I said, scowling at Vajra and says, Vajra, I have said this once, and I refuse to say it again. And there's a clear unspoken thing, and Vajra scoffs. She just scoffs and says, "Fine. If any of you want to be properly examined to perhaps get rid of your little curse, please feel free to visit Blackstaff Tower."
Depends on if the curse ending means us dying or not.
Yeah, that's kind of the problem. But
Well,
it might also be good to. It might also actually be good to like get a better handle on what this curse actually is and does.
Yeah,
that might actually be useful information to have.
Might drop by at some point.
I can do that too, if you want. Just know that showing up means you do consent. And she looks at Yuliy.
Bird.
Bird flipped.
Bird flipped.
Yes, the owl does a flip.
The bird is flipped and the owl conveniently flips in front of the bird. Because children friendly.
No, we are so far from that. We are so far from that. Goodness gracious.
Listen, I've pressed enough and you haven't stopped me, so it doesn't even matter.
I'm just saying I don't care. But yeah, that might be actually... The thing is, like, I think even though it's awful, our quasi-immortality does help us a little bit in terms of the long-term goal of beating the Undermountain, but...
For now.
Yep. So long as we remember.
If there was a way to, like, get down to the guts of it and find a way to, like, maintain our memories and experience... Oh, that would be something and a half. That would change the game entirely.
You'd be dangerous.
We would be dangerous.
Yeah.
I mean, we'd probably end up with still annoying respawns, but we would remember and not.
Yeah.
And that would take away like the most. I mean, like losing treasure down the Undermountain would still be very, very bad, but. Taking away the memory loss part of this would take away like 90% of all my fear of death in this campaign right now.
I'm so glad that the complete unconsenting violation of my personal being has gotten you super interested in this curse.
I mean, you should have sat farther away.
Get
all there is to it.
It could have been anyone.
No. I want to be very clear. Vajra is an asshole.
I mean, yeah.
Oh, I know.
But could be a useful asshole.
Yeah.
And
so,
unfortunately, in this world, sometimes you got to take that for what it is.
All I'm saying is that first opinions matter, and there's an opinion here that has been a bad one.
Yep.
Yep. I would say out of all of us, Yuliy was probably the worst one for that to happen to, aside from maybe Jhank. I doubt I would have cared much. I feel like Victor wouldn't have cared much.
Didn't did it because I react.
So that was part of it, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we've got a couple
Which
leads there.
Problem.
She was basically being one of those like terrible doctors with no bad manner.
Yeah.
So yeah. Unless you have any other questions, and again, you can ask you can swing by the castle to ask Laryl Silverhand questions later.
That's going to be nice having access to the Open Lord of Waterdeep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a chance that she is busy or gone, but
actually,
like, you do.
Actually, no, I do have actually a pretty important question. How do we know each other? How do we have a working relationship?
Oh yeah, that was the question I actually wanted to ask.
And was it just with us, or was it with the entirety of us?
I mean, obviously you are aware of our movements and actions in the city to a reasonable degree, but what kind of working relationship did we have? Why
are we cordial? What is this? Motions between our bodies and hers.
You were one of the foremost bounty hunters of Waterdeep, and as such, in order for me to keep an eye on the Castellanter's movement, sometimes it was in my best interest to hire you to deal with personal matters. Likewise, you felt it comfortable to accept these jobs because getting close to the Open Lord of Waterdeep is acceptable
Lucrative.
collateral.
Acceptable
You're a
collateral and
double
lucrative,
agent.
potentially, yes.
As for the rest of you, as far as I know, you were at one point hired by us for something or other. I don't know what.
So I'm
Okay.
the one with the connection. But
Yeah.
As
Um,
usual.
Well, you're from here.
He's
Yeah.
from Waterdeep. He's
You're
like the
from
only
here.
person from the city.
yeah.
So that's the big reason. Y'all have connections far and wide. Spud gets this.
I have connections with different planes.
That's true. I don't quite beat that.
Several of them hate me.
Yeah.
That he
I'm
didn't
gonna
wanna
keep
be.
quiet.
Bulls hate him.
Anyway,
All right. Well, that clears things up. Yes. All
to be
right.
fair, most of my connections have to do with me being a warlock, but
Most of my connections have to do with being a sneaky bastard.
I think that's true of most of you.
Yeah, actually.
I wasn't only
I
the
got-
sneaky bastard.
I have good blood.
You do have good blood.
It is quite exceptional blood.
Yeah.
Sorry, what? Anyway.
Now Ben's the vampire.
I am a vampire. All right. I'm not going to get into this song. So, from this point, would you all like to progress to trying to find Esvel Rosnar, or do you want to visit the tower, or
Hmm.
split up and do it both?
I feel like the tower should probably wait for a while.
Why is that?
I don't know. I don't know if I have any reasons for anything.
I am so conflicted right now.
Why are you conflicted?
Let's
Because
ponder. Let's
I
ponder, yeah.
myself really want to go to Flagstaff Tower, but you would
Yuliy
have
does
to
not.
drag Yuliy kicking and screaming.
This can be arranged.
I mean, I do like science.
How about we do a quick split up? Me and Yuliy can go visit the remnants of House Rosnar, and Victor
Probably
and
bring Jhank with you.
perhaps, and Victor and Lander can go submit themselves to an examination from Blackstaff.
Yeah.
Well, maybe you should bring Jhank with you because the whole seeing the future thing, she'll probably get a kick out of it.
But I feel like Jhank wouldn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if I suffered, so does he.
So, who's Hollyhock going with?
Hollyhock's coming with us. Jhank is going with
Yeah.
them.
For her mental stability, probably a good idea.
Okay.
If I have to suffer, Jhank has to suffer too.
All right.
I mean, we could just do the body double duo.
Yeah, but if something happens, not saying that she's going to do anything, you should have some muscle, because not for nothing, you're a stick.
Yeah, but I have survivability.
Stick. Take the lizard. Take his dog, too.
What?
Go. Bye.
Uh,
Leave.
us goes with all the gals, and we go with all the weirdos.
That's a pretty strong lady on each arm. Is
Oh,
he
yeah.
have two women, or is he being manhandled? You never know.
Yeah,
That is a good point. We now have another female in the group.
Hey, now, as far as I'm concerned, we're all equals here.
Yep. Yep.
Well, whatever. I guess we could do the tower thing. I don't care.
All right. Well,
I
Blackstaff Tower.
Yeah, I
Go ahead.
just suggested splitting up as a, just saving time sort of thing.
We
Y'all
could do
don't
more
have
damage
to.
that way.
Yeah, y'all don't
I
have
also
to. You
I also
can
don't think
I
like
mean-
all of us have really a stake in the game with the Rosnars, but all of us kind of have more of us have a stake at Blackstaff Tower.
Mhm.
So
And also, like, two of you, well, Yuliy at the very least definitely doesn't want to go there. Unless she's
Yeah.
going there to beat up the Blackstaff. Which
Unless
would
I
be
have
bad.
Unless I have explicit permission that she's not going to touch me, but she's already stated that going means consent, and I am not consenting.
Hmm.
all right, so yeah, I figured splitting up just kind of saves time and solves a couple problems.
Okay.
Sure.
Works for me. So Blackstaff Tower is way back yonder near the Griffin statue.
You know, another good thing about the two of us going, Victor, is maybe she'll know. Maybe she could figure something out about the body swapping.
Let's see if she figures that out on her own first.
Yeah.
I'm kind of curious.
All right.
I'd say the
Let-
priority for this visit is learning more about the curse and if we can alter it, maybe.
Okay.
Think about what
So-
she said.
Okay, go ahead.
I was just going to tell Lander, the other thing that Blackstaff mentioned about Yuliy and the whole never saw a golem speak before, because it made me think back to when I was wondering how old Yuliy was, considering where she says she's from and how long that's not been a thing.
I mean,
I think she was looking at all of us in confusion and then went to the nearest one, which happened to be Yuliy.
Right,
yeah,
right. But I mean,
because also with where Yuliy's from, that sort of got entangled with the Feywild. I think I had in one of my notes.
so you think maybe she just
Yeah.
was from her time, got stuck in the Feywild a little too long?
I'm right here.
Okay. Never mind. The
I am
connection-
right here.
the connection between the Feywilds and Talrua was actually, in fact, Yuliy.
She can hear
Yeah,
us,
no,
Ray.
that was the joke from the stone.
She was the seed planted in the kingdom.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Fine. Never mind.
But anyway, I assume they just like magicked off to some other plane for a while.
I guess
Why?
I'll save it. I'll save it for my fan fiction.
Yeah, I would defy a fanfic writer to untangle all these plot threads with how much has been revealed so far.
I mean, if Din decided to just turn this whole campaign into a book, I would read it.
I would too, but I'm living it.
I like it as a game. I
Yeah.
think it's a lot of fun as an adventure.
Yeah.
I would need to do so much work to turn this into something readable.
Yeah.
Just because, like, I gotta be real blunt about myself here. Boy, do I do a lot of info dumps.
The Tolkien of our times.
Oh no. Hell no. I do not have appendices and shit. I do not have footnotes in my prologue.
Yeah, like each of us has could have our own book that just all crosses over the same narrative.
Admittedly, that would be pretty cool, but also very difficult.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Blackstaff Tower is back there by the Griffin statue, and underneath that little area underneath is actually the academy, like Blackstaff Academy. So, if you're good here, you get to move up to here. As for Laeral Silverhand doesn't know specifically where Esvel is at the moment because she seems to move around a lot, but the remnants of House Rosnar live near Fetlock Court. So
I
that
see.
is yeah.
So not actually too far away from each other.
Nope. Splitting up is actually, for one, splitting up does not mean having to go across the entire city.
Yeah, wow, what a relief that is. All right.
Oh yeah. All right. Who would like to go first?
I'd say the House Rosnar might be a lower stakes one.
Okay.
Sure, we'll roll for it. Yeah, sure, let's go.
Okay. House Rosnar first, then. You arrive at a small area of land that appears to be maintained. It's specifically, it seems that this sort of longhouse right here is actually what belongs to House Rosnar at this point.
Mm.
And the land, like just behind it, dipping a little bit into Fetlock Court, is maintained by them. And you can tell that this was definitely at the very least the house sort of fell pretty hard, because you see in the back area of land where there are a small amount of crops being grown, or no, it's winter. There would not be crops at this point. You do, however, see what appears to be a very rotund man who is clearly unused to this sort of thing, just trying to like unscrew his field. It's like, it is messed up. The land is you can tell that like whoever planted stuff here and like during the summer or during the spring and into the summer did a very bad job. And this portly man is just struggling to like turn the soil to make it usable and like undo the like layers of frost on things.
Ugh.
This man is bad at his job.
It probably doesn't have a whole lot of alternatives.
Nope. It also appears that the house is otherwise completely empty. It's just this man in his field.
Huh. All right, well, I guess I approach this man because he's currently my lead. With Yuliy and Hollyhock in tow, I guess.
I'm like 5 seconds from asking if he needs help.
He looks up and says, "What in the nine hells do you all want?"
Well, that
Your attention
sets the
was
tone.
to be gotten.
Don't be so flippant. Sorry. Sorry, sir. You are... What was the name the Lord gave me?
Roltame Rosnar.
You're Roltame Rosnar, correct?
Sorry, I'm just putting it in the chat so you can see it.
Roltame or Rosnar, yes.
Yes, and what of it? Wait a minute. You're that Castellanter bugbear, aren't you?
I am, yes. Have we met?
Not in a sense. I
In a sense.
just try to keep track of all the doings of the noble houses. It's all I've got left, aside from this stupid farm. And he kicks over the he tries to kick over the plow he's using and fails.
Ugh.
Kick it from the other way. It actually is more productive.
He looks at you, Yuliy, and says, "I didn't ask for your advice."
So, you and I have not spoken directly before.
Oh,
you know-
what point would the Castellanters have in coming to visit a lowlife like myself? Pah.
Do you know where, what was the other name, the sister?
Esvel.
Do you know where I might be able to find Esvel?
He scowls real hard at you when you say that name, and says, "And why should I tell you?" Hello?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm just kind of thinking for a second.
Sorry.
I
This is definitely not a fun person to deal with.
I pull out the platinum ring, and I say I'm on an important task.
He looks at it quizzically and then approaches to actually like really take a look at it.
Mm-hmm.
And you see a look cross his face, and let me just roll this real fast. He tries to snatch it from you and does very badly. Like he overestimates his reach and just falls face first into the dirt.
I hold no ill
That
will.
is my property, and I demand to have it back, he says, rising from the ground.
Well, I need this less than I need answers.
Okay. A trade, then. Fine.
If it's in good faith. And if it
It's in
pays
good
out.
faith.
Pays off.
Yes. Fine.
If I get what I need from your sister, then we can talk about returning.
It's his daughter.
Yes, it's his daughter.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know where she lives, but I know that roustabout daughter of mine loves to hang out at the Great Drunkard.
Rings a bell.
It's that bar.
It's one of the statues of Waterdeep, and there's a bar underneath it.
Gotcha.
Or maybe if she's been kicked out of there too, maybe if you're lucky, you'll find her at the Yawning Portal.
That would give us an opportunity to cross paths before. Alright. I still need this, I'd say, holding up the ring.
But we agreed a trade! I gave you the information and you give me the ring!
If the information is good, then I will return and give you the ring. So I'm going to go and verify it now. Thank you so much for your help. I will see you on another occasion. And I turn to walk away.
As you do that, you just hear him yell a whole bunch of swears at you. This man is deeply unpleasant.
Yeah, this was never going to be a pleasant interaction.
No. He seems to be very upset about the fact that his family name does not mean anything anymore.
Yeah, I mean, that's understandable.
And also, he says it's his ring, but it clearly has his son's name on it.
Yes, but it's also definitely the family crest, so.
Yeah. But can't be the head of the family if the family doesn't exist anymore.
Well, heirlooms are still heirlooms.
Yeah. I think, if nothing else, it's a platinum ring, and maybe he thinks he can pawn it to get some people to actually work his land.
Yeah.
Because the fact of the matter is, like, the only thing the family has left is this plot of land, which is valuable, but not worth as much if it's not actually maintained.
Yeah.
And
Right.
he can't afford any servants to maintain it anymore. So
yeah, we will go and look for Isvel at the Great Drunkard first, and then try the Yawning Portal.
all right. The Great Drunkard is surprisingly busy. I'm gonna have you all roll perception. I guess I'll roll for Hollyhock.
Finally rolled decent today.
God damn it! Oh,
You
that was
rolled
the wrong
nature.
one anyway. Thank goodness. Nope, still shit.
Hollyhock's like, I don't know who we're looking for. I'm just here. Yuliy.
Holly, we're getting drunk, Holly. Let's go. Bye.
Thanks for all your help.
You're welcome.
With a 14, you don't notice anyone who seems particularly out of place. And the general sort of atmosphere is jovial. And you're not hearing any names that sound even close to Isvel. There's surprisingly few, well, I guess not that surprising, but there are very few women in here aside from Hollyhock, Yuliy, and maybe 3 others.
Can I inquire with the bartender?
Sure.
Yeah, because if she's a regular, they would know.
Yeah.
When you ask the bartender, he raises an eyebrow and goes, "And can I ask why you need to find her?"
Because I might have been working a job for her and I need to make sure my books are straight.
All right. Well, she hasn't been hanging around here for a while. She got in some trouble with the guards and decided to stay away from her usual spots. So she's probably with Durnan at the Yawning Portal.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. And I tip him.
Yeah, he appreciates it.
Falls over. Ow.
how dare you? So yeah, it's a quick jaunt to the Yawning Portal. You're not too far from it either. Believe it's in. I do not remember what street it's on. Shoot, I know it's nearby, and I don't feel like we need to bring up the big map to figure it out. So, you arrive at the Yawning Portal. It is less busy. There's definitely quite a few people surrounding the hole. It appears that another group of adventurers just went down to try their luck at the Undermountain.
Oh dear.
And yeah, it's still, it's not crowded, but it's not empty either. That's an 18 perception. Okay. Does anyone else want to roll perception?
Sure.
And by anyone else, I mean specifically Usk.
Nope.
No,
Wow.
Usk is looking at the hole.
I think that's a pretty fair worry. I think Hollyhock's looking into it too, just because she's like, what? What the hell is this
Hi,
thing?
Durnan.
Durnan smiles and waves at you and says, "Welcome back. Is there something I can help you with?"
Yeah.
Not the voice I used for him before.
It's been a while since we've talked to him. It's fine.
Yeah.
I don't know if he had a special voice or anything. Has there been an Ezvel Rosnar here recently?
He takes a moment, looks both ways, and then leans in and goes, "Who might be at?"
Just-
Usk is.
Just Usk.
Just y'all.
Just
All right.
Just for myself, sir.
Yuliy, so with your 18 perception, here's what you noticed beyond the sort of general view of everything. You saw, as soon as like the lot of you entered, you saw one of the rooms at the front, one of the rooms that you would previously been in, the door closed.
Hello.
And Durnan gestures towards that particular door and says, "Now, if you want to avoid any kind of danger, you might want to knock 4 times."
Appreciated, thank you. And I go to the door and knock 4 times.
The door slowly opens and you hear a woman's voice from inside asking, "Is Usk gone, Durnan?"
Try again.
She on hearing that, she tries to close the door very slowly.
What?
It's like, I wasn't here.
You're not in any danger, Ezvel.
Okay, good. She opens the door ever so slightly and says, "So what are you here for then?"
Well, I've just died a few times, was trying to figure out what I did.
Catching up with
Same
old
old,
friends.
same old.
Trying to refresh my memory, if you'll believe it.
Okay. Bit surprised by that. Guess that
I
means
was quite
we're
surprised by it
square?
too.
Does this mean we're square if you don't remember?
Well, I would suggest that you probably have control over what I know about us. Because I've had a bit of an amnesiac episode.
Okay. That
But-
doesn't really help me as far as what we need to talk about then.
I pull out the platinum ring and say, I want to know why I have this.
She sort of you see her whole body sort of freeze. And she you see her start to see you just a little bit, and she says, it is that what I think it is?
It is what it is. It has the signet and it has this inscription. You tell me what it is.
So you found his body then?
I must have, but I don't remember it.
Let's see. Okay. Well, I guess I'll tell you everything. So about a year ago, my brother disappeared.
Mm-hmm.
He went down to Skullport to do something. I don't know what. He and I were never on the best of terms, but I still cared for him. And then about 6 months ago, I was making a trip through Castle Lantern Manor when you found me and put a knife to my throat, and we made a bargain of sorts because I knew some things that you didn't somehow, and we've largely kept out of each other's hair since. So
What information did I need from you?
She's yeah.
Oh. You were...
She told you about the kid.
You were the one who told me about the Zentarim plot.
Yeah. I'm honestly surprised that you didn't kill me on the spot before we could have that conversation, but I guess you
Yeah, I was chasing after slightly more important things than just hunting down a thief.
yeah.
How did you know about the Zentarim's plot?
Well, I'm well, as you just said, I'm a bit of a thief myself, so I picked up a lot of things when I was taking money from the less deserving of Waterdeep.
Mm-hmm. I just complete nonchalance at that.
Yeah. I happened to overhear a conversation during one of my trips, and it didn't bother me all that much because not really fond of the Castlanters.
Yeah.
But
No, I understand.
that information was obviously valuable enough to you, so
It was. And it
yeah.
paid off, so...
I don't know. I don't know why you have that,
But you didn't ask me to find him or anything?
no, I didn't.
But we have crossed paths in that particular... Okay. 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 Well...
I'm sorry to ask this, but can I please keep that?
You may, though you should be aware that your father is also interested in it.
I don't really care what he thinks.
That's fair. Seems difficult.
It's fine. It's not really that different from how things have always been.
I understand. I gave her the ring. Say, can you tell me a little bit about him?
He was a drunk and a scoundrel. Picked more fights than he could actually win. But he always tried to take care of me, and I tried to take care of him. He, I don't know, got in with some bad people. I guess I was fortunate that I decided I worked better alone. I don't know.
Well,
Was
It
she
wouldn't-
talking about her brother or her father?
Her brother.
her brother.
Okay.
It wouldn't surprise me if, I don't know, in his desperation, he tried to make a deal with Xanathar or something.
Well, I'm sorry that we gave you a fright crossing paths again, but
I was just worried that at some point your whatever mission you were on was going to be over and you'd finally decide to deal with the thief.
I would I would have very little standing to take umbrage with you stealing from the Castellanders. And with that cryptic statement, I turn and walk away.
She grins softly and says, "You said that last time too."
Oh, well, yeah, that tracks. Well, let me just say it plainly then, you do not have anything to fear from me or the Castellanders. Just maybe don't, try to steer clear of the estate.
I think you have to worry about that. I learned that lesson.
Mm-hmm.
If there's anything I can do to repay you for this, please let me know. You can pass along a message through Durnan or something.
I will keep that in mind. I still have a lot of questions to sort through. I don't know if you'll necessarily be the key to them, but stranger things have happened on this journey already. So, thank you.
Thank you.
And
I guess that's
yeah,
it.
Yeah.
So, no answers, but a quest has been resolved.
Yeah. And now I no longer have that platinum ring.
Yep.
All right.
Returned it to, I guess, next of kin.
Yep.
Well-
And as you leave, Durnan Durnan sort of calls out to you and just says, "So you got any more information on the Undermountain, or you want to wait for a little while?"
Oh, right, we do have that deal, too.
I mean, I've got time, so long as you've got memories.
Since we're waiting for our friends to finish up at Blackstaff anyway, why not buy around and swap stories?
What's
Yeah.
happened on the third floor at the very least. That's a kind of a big thing.
Too bad
All
I've
right.
got all the maps.
Oh, well.
I'm sure information and stories will suffice for now.
For now, yeah. You'll get one more piece of information, which is that Asvel Rosnar, her thief guys is a little more, or her role as a thief is actually a little more, a little bit bigger than she was even sort of implying there, in that Durnan sort of lets it slip that she is known as the Black Viper in the city.
And she's scared of me. What?
Yeah,
What does that make you then?
she's sort of like a Robin Hood-esque thief. And she got caught, and it was bad for her.
Does that make us
I
a
like
mongoose?
her.
Yeah. So, let's cut to Staff Tower. Place is a hall of learning. That is for damn sure. This place is magical as hell. It permeates the air. It feels like you see people are like from the ground floor up, just researching all forms of magic. There are rooms where people are just literally practicing spells against live targets. And determining their effects and all sorts of things. This is like, you can tell this is high level magic, and you can also tell that like basically every single spell being used here is for defense or offense. Like there's very little prestidigitation going on here, except for like using it to set someone on fire.
Sounds like the exact place that Lander wants to be.
Right?
I mean,
A
I
whole
like all
tower.
sorts of magic.
A whole tower full of landers.
Lander just won't leave. Victor, you have to make sure that Lander leaves.
I mean, I'm gonna leave.
No, you
leave.
I might come back eventually, but I'll
Lander
leave.
doesn't like to share, is the thing. He loves to have people share with him, but he doesn't like to share himself.
I'll share sometimes if I remember.
We shared bodies, that's for one thing. Swip that off. Anyway.
So Vajra Safar's office is at the very, very top of the tower, because of course it is. It is a wizard's tower. That is the
Boy.
whole point of it.
If only there were elevators.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
If only
She
we knew what
probably
those
has
were.
them, but she doesn't want to share. Just like you don't want to share. It's only fair.
I mean, hey, sharing my ideas is one of my things that I do every now and then if I have them.
Too bad you have no ideas.
Yeah.
Haha.
I've been too busy trying to find out more about myself. And others.
Her office is, as might be expected, has a lot of books in it. They are stacked precariously in various corners of the room. You can see, like at the doorway, there are two guard statues. It looks like they don't appear to be moving right now, but it definitely looks like she has the potential of animating them if she feels threatened in some capacity. But you also get the distinct feeling that she doesn't feel threatened very often. She's sitting at a small desk, and the staff is behind her, just standing tall on its own. It's not being supported by anything or on anything. It's just perfectly perpendicular to the ground.
Neat.
Yeah.
She looks at the three of you approaching and says, "You came faster than I thought. So who wants to go first?"
Lander, you want to go first?
Yeah, with the clause that you don't actually fix it just yet.
Fine. So you just want to know what it is then, correct?
For now.
All right. Stand perfectly still, please.
Mm-hmm.
She steps over to you. She grabs the staff on her way over, and she just starts like physically examining you, checking like everything from your teeth and gums to your like heartbeats, everything. Just a pure physical test. And then she taps her staff on the ground twice. And you feel something that feels akin to the identify spell being cast on you. Or it's like something between identify and detect magic, I guess. It's a bit odd. She takes a few moments, goes over to her desk, writes something down, and then just pointedly looks at you and says, "So who do you think you are right now?"
Well, disregarding any physical appearances, I'm Lander Brightwood, a warlock.
All right. And how much of Lander Brightwood do you think you are?
I'm not sure, actually.
All right. Not
But I
helpful
imagine
as an
I'll
answer.
gradually become more of Lander Brightwood.
Interesting that you would say that. All right. Would you like to go next, or should I do the lizard? She says to Victor.
I'll go next, sure.
She does pretty much the same thing to you. It is uncomfortable. I'm just going to be very blunt. Even the spell that she cast to do the sort of identification your skin. And then she goes back to her desk, writes down a few notes, and then asks you the exact same question. So who do you think you are right now?
Victor.
And how much of Victor do you think you are?
100%.
She does the same to Jhank, and after a few moments asks the same questions. I'm not going to presume to answer, but she will write down whatever Jhank answers. She makes a small note of some kind that you would guess is about the visions, and then looks at the three of you and goes, so what do you think your body is physically made of right now?
Well, if I recall correctly, based on what other people have said, last time we died, we got disintegrated, so maybe dust?
Do you have an answer, Victor?
Honestly, I have not really thought about that too much. I mean, it feels like meat, so...
There was also that time in the dungeon where those mirror things came out, those mirror clones came out and immediately turned into dust.
True.
So, yeah.
All right. How did you come back to life? Describe the circumstances around it.
Oh, jeez. $1 million question here.
We woke up in a dark room with various things in it.
Like giant mushrooms.
And then we were asked about our identities, and then we appeared in the well of the yawning portal.
Where were those mushrooms around you?
Yeah, magical mushroom things.
Big mushrooms.
And a fake ravine.
God, don't.
What?
You're not not helping.
So I'm going to be perfectly blunt here. You all appear to be animated by a wish spell. I don't know exactly what cast it, but that appears to be the case. You are a conglomeration of various souls, not all of which you say you are. And your body is largely made up of fungus.
God damn it.
You're always a fun guy.
It's a close enough proximity to meat, especially with the wish spell making it more, how should I put this, useful, as opposed to whatever the hell would normally form. And what news would you like to learn about this? So what I am curious. What do you think happens when you die at this point?
Probably the same thing that happened last time.
Turn to a fungi stew of dust.
Haven't really heard about what the previous iterations did. But having different souls does make a lot of sense as to the constant personality shifts through the different iterations.
Do you think you and I switched because we were just kind of just mixed up?
No, I think that happened before the dungeon.
Oh, okay. Just clarifying.
Yeah, I suppose if assuming that my looking at this is in fact accurate, the reason you all appear to lose your memories between the lifetimes is not because of the actual revival process. Well, partially because of the revival process, but more because who you are shifts ever so slightly as this whole big soul soup gets mixed together.
Interesting.
But it does seem as though we each have one soul that is stronger than the others, or at least the predominant one.
Yes, presumably. I assume when the spell was at its strongest is when everyone came back exactly as they were, but these kinds of long-term spells have a way of getting twisted, especially if the source of power is being lost.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So, if you die again, who's to say it's really going to be you that's coming back?
Indeed.
Is there a way to maybe control who
Fair.
comes back?
Actually, what I was wondering is if there's a way to control memories, if we can keep them.
I might be able to. That might be a thing that can be accomplished. However, I will need some time to develop the tools necessary for it.
It's like anchoring a certain soul to the front, I guess,
Yes,
The
there's a
front of-
potential for me to do that.
since the physical body would not be the same.
Yes. I imagine if I did, it would be extremely painful, but that's the issue with rush jobs, isn't it? Still, if you give me, I don't know, try not to die within a week, I would say, and I might be able to get something for you.
Well, definitely not on our bucket list, so.
Do you have any other questions, or do you want to just stand there and waste my time?
Well, I
Maybe
do
a bit of both. Hard to say.
I'm not wasting time. Actually, I do have a legitimate question. This whole process of this wish spell that keeps bringing us back every time we perish in the Undermountain. If it were to be ended, do we stay in whatever form we're last at, or do we just simply gone? Nothing. Do we revert to ash?
Or fungus, as it were.
Yeah, or whatever we were made of at the time.
Spores, I think, would probably be the best way to put it. I think it depends on the state of the caster of this particular wish spell. Feels different than usual. If, assuming that their power level is roughly the same, if you manage to ever bring them to me, I bet we could just use their remnant energy to bring you back completely. But it would probably be in whatever form you're currently in.
Now, is that bring them to you as in their corpse or as in them alive and willing?
Well, a corpse doesn't tend to have magical energy in it. That tends
Some
to
might.
escape. But
That's
presumably alive and willing, but I doubt they'll remain alive after the process. Then again, they're the ones who cursed you, so I don't know why you might be terribly invested in keeping them alive.
Probably because we'd be dead otherwise.
Some of us probably have this thing about dying not being a cool, fun state to be in, but, I just see it's a natural cycle.
Yeah. Maybe you'll get to see your goddess when you die.
Hey,
However, I kind of doubt it, because apparently she's not actually where she should be.
we'll see what happens.
But also,
You'll
apparently,
see what
you're still
happens.
her victor regardless of this thing
Yeah.
happening.
She seems to always
Mhm.
know. Seems to always know.
That is an important thing. She sees people by souls, and you've always been you.
Yep. That's why I know I'm me. No matter what body or shape I take.
Maybe you had multiple souls inside of you from the start.
I've always thought I was two
Or maybe she
wolves.
just knows where his soul's drifted in the soup.
Yeah. Like if it's alphabet soup, she sees the Q and just follows that,
So you're saying that you're Q?
Yeah, I wish. No. I'm probably more like an S.
I
Maybe V
believe-
for Victor.
V, yeah.
Or Vendetta.
Oh, man. So,
believe. Let me check one thing real fast. Excuse me. Shantae's Q&A.
so we're all Cordyceps liches, hooray.
For now.
I will say one thing of note is in that Shantae Q&A corner note, one of the very last things for that first question that Shantae says is, the only thing I can say with certainty is that you've changed ever so slightly each time we spoke.
Oh.
The changes are most drastic when we reconnect.
Ah.
So it is entirely possible as well that interacting with different entities causes different personalities to become more dominant. Like your connection with Shantae has always made you the predominant soul.
Of my part of the soup.
I guess is it everyone who's ever died in the Undermountain is a little bit inside all of us, including each other.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well.
Isn't that nice?
Reanimated through fungal spores.
Yep.
It's the, I mean, to be fair, if you cut yourselves open right now or whatever, it's still going to be blood and stuff that pours out. Like, as far as like reality is currently concerned, you are flesh and blood, humans, tieflings, half elves, bugbears, etc.
Yeah.
It's just of note. It's like, for example, when that one particular dwarf died in the Undermountain, I noted that his body lit on fire extremely quickly, way faster than a normal body would.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's
they're all alive again, huh?
There's a chance.
Yeah, at least they won't remember us.
Also the Revenant too.
There's a chance.
At least they don't remember us.
Except it's not even about losing memory now. It's their body and soul is reconstituted from the sea of bodies and souls of everyone else who has died in the Undermountain and reconstituted as a technically similar but new being.
Chances are, as more time goes on, the dominant soul starts to gain more of its position, and so more of the memories will come back.
Or some of the whatever amalgamation currently inhabits the body decides that it's going to be the dominant one. And the original can suck it.
Yeah.
There's also the fact that it seems like the more the more it gets mixed up and revived, the less of the original there is to maintain.
Yeah.
Because it's being spread so thin.
Yeah.
So
this might not be infinite.
It might actually be.
There might be a limit onto how much of this can happen until
Pretty sure that was
even the process itself decays into something unrecognizable.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it might still happen because wishes are very powerful, but it might stop looking like a bunch of adventurers coming back from the dead with amnesia.
Yeah.
Might stop looking like that. Like, best case scenario, you get an undead army kind of thing. An undead army of like very similar people.
Yeah.
Worst case scenario, abominations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Eventually, we'll all just turn into one same person.
A hive
Who
mind.
is all of us.
Grave mind. There we go.
Yeah.
You're slowly, over the course of centuries, becoming a grave mind.
So well, has it been centuries?
I mean, like,
not for us anyway,
I'm extrapolating far into the future.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm saying it's a slow process.
Yeah.
If the magic lasts that long, that is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the source of power is fading.
Which means
I'm just saying, like, that's sort of like an extrapolation of the process we are currently undergoing.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, probably good idea to not die anymore.
If you can avoid it, I would recommend it, but
it's the Undermountain, so it's very lethal.
I mean, let's be honest, none of us have actually gone down since we started.
We've gotten down to floor 5.
We skipped down to floor 5.
True.
I meant hit point wise. No one's died.
No one's hit unconsciousness yet.
Yeah.
Close, but no one's hit that yet.
I haven't even had to actually use my
We have been very dangerously outplayed a few times, though.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, I haven't had to like have a magical item that I've had since we started actually come into effect. And yes, I recall that I still have that.
Yes.
Okay.
A periaptive wound closure.
I just can't remember how to say it.
Most of the times we've ended up in over our heads, we've either talked or leveraged our way out.
Fortunately.
Yeah.
We haven't actually had like a lot of life or death battles because we've been kind of avoiding and talking through them.
Fortunately, in in these early parts of the Undermountain, there's a lot of just like regular people. So
there is that.
Regular.
Well, regular enough.
Yeah. All right.
Well, even if I'm not entirely Usk, I still care about those twins and the horrible fate of the Castellanters.
I mean, you're still predominantly Usk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like I've always felt from the beginning, like especially as I started learning more, that I am. Well, there are parts of me that are more me than I expected, but there's also parts of me that are less Usk than before.
This, by the by, is one of the reasons I did it like this is obviously helps with the whole amnesia thing of like, why are they acting differently in the past than in the present? Well, now you know. The other aspect of it is, the other reason is, or not the other reason, but the other thing about it is that is one of the reasons I put that line in the entrance to the Undermountain. Your past does not define you.
Yep.
I think that's probably a good place to call it for the night.
Yeah, I'd say so. Hey, Jawa, we're all
We're cordyceps.
Sort of, kind of.
Exactly.
We're fungal.
We're all
liches
a bowl of fungal spores containing a soup of souls.
of everyone who's died
Well,
in the
okay
Undermountain.
then.
Yep.
I'll give you more of the details after we finish the stream and stuff.
We've already died, but we also can't be killed in the way that matters.
Mm-hmm.
At least not yet. Oh boy. Well, on that bombshell. Thank you for listening. If you like what you heard, you can find more at YouTube on Newbiespud or wherever you get your fine podcasts, iTunes, Google Play, Spotify. Spudventures is the name. We aim to live stream these games every Sunday around, I guess, 2 p.m. Pacific, 3 Mountain, 4 Central, 5 Eastern at twitch.tv/Newbiespud. If you want to keep up with this and other projects I'm doing, you can follow me on Twitter at Newbiespud. And if you want to support my ability to produce more content like this, please consider supporting me at patreon.com/Newbiespud. See you next time with another session of Shadow Trot.
Bye-bye.